All right. So today, first of all, I want to thank you for joining into the Tech Entrepreneurship Series, today's session of Tech Entrepreneurship Series. Today with me, we have Dorcas Jacob, brand communications professional, and we're going to be talking about finding your why. Yes. So we're talking about finding your why for entrepreneurship, for entrepreneurs. So Dorcas is going to be telling us about herself. I'm Ibrahim. I am a digital marketing specialist and an entrepreneur myself, founder of Front Dreams Web Solutions, and I also work with European Leadership University as the digital marketing manager. So today we're going to be hearing from a brand communications professional herself in the person of Dorcas. So Dorcas, tell us more about yourself.
Hi
Yes,
everyone.
over to you.
Hello. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, my name is Dorcas Jacob. It's a funny story that I like to remember is that I didn't always start off studying like public relations and advertising, which is the career path I am now in. I actually started off studying industrial engineering, and as they would say, fate or whatever it was, I um, found out like that comes easily to me. This is what I can do the first thing when I wake up in the morning, and then I changed. But then I had a challenge, and the challenge was, how was I going to tell my dad that his almost 2 years of tuition fee is like going to waste almost, because I mean that was how he was going to see it. But I did. I convinced him that this was the best path to go, and I'm glad I did. I ended up graduating with a first class degree in public relations, and here I am today. So I'm a brand
Impressive.
communications professional, and I love to leverage media to help brands to tell their stories. And in the line of my work, I've also worked with LinkedIn Local, so bringing people off of LinkedIn to a local area or a location to kind of network, have a physical network and connect, leverage opportunities. And I'm also building two startups as a comms professional. I also believe in volunteering for the causes that I care about. So I lead operations at Street Project Foundation, and yeah, I'm also member of the Comms Avenue, which is a communications platform for professionals to build capacity. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm here today. And yes, and I'm glad that you're here too.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, over to the topic. We're discussing why, finding your why. This is Tech Entrepreneurship Series, right? So, tell us why. I mean, imagine I want to start a business, or even, I mean, I'm having a business because this is not just for people who want to start a business. Those in business also need it. So, I'm in business, or I want to start a business in the area of tech. What is why? Like, what does it mean for me to find my why? Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, so everything starts with you, the individual. Um, what motivates you, right? When the chips are down, what is going to keep you going, right? So you have to find that reason. And no, don't tell me it's money, because money is not going to keep you going. It has to be something that you found inside of you, a solution that you're offering, something that gives you that gratification, fulfillment, the reason why you're starting out. Maybe I'm starting out because I'm trying to help these people. I'm starting out because I've had this challenge myself, and now I think I have the solution to help other people come out of it. So that's what will keep you going, is to find your why. And then yes, that would inform and motivate you as a tech entrepreneur starting out.
Wow. Thank you. I come across, I mean, you check on websites, several websites, you come across things like, okay, about the business, you come across mission, vision, purpose. Sometimes seeing all these things, it's not, to me, it's like not everyone knows what they're writing. They just need to write something. So people just write. I was at,
Yeah.
as a business mixer several years ago when I just started my business, and I met a director from KPMG. So we were talking about businesses, and he just asked me, "What am I into?" I told him about my business. Then he said, "What is your value proposition?" That was the first time I was even hearing about the word value proposition. And then he explained to me, and I couldn't still answer. And I went back. I had to think over my value proposition. So this is what we're talking about when we say finding your why. We're actually talking about finding your value proposition. We're talking about finding your purpose. Why are you in the business? Why should a customer buy from you? This is what will I say, brings together your vision, your purpose for the business, and your product. This is what actually makes up your brand, because your brand uh, could be anything, and there are several other brands out there similar, but
Yeah.
your unique, what makes you unique is your why, right? So the doctors tell us, what is the most important why to have, or the most important value proposition to have? Because like we mentioned, some people go into business because they want money. So I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so what I've found is the best motivation that you can have is that you have created a solution that is making a real impact in the lives of people. So that passion for what you're doing is one of the best things that you can have. So I have a solution I have created. It is making real impact in people's life, and that's what motivates me. So yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I remember something. I remember I once asked, on a poll on LinkedIn some months back, and I asked, is it do what you love or love what you do? So it was a very tricky and interesting question, because a lot of times, people can say, okay, do what you love. I am for the do love what you do. I'm for that, because um, I try to find meaning, because there are some people that maybe they were not able to, achieve their dreams, or to do what they love. But I think you can still find purpose and utilize. You can still find purpose in what you do. You can be in a job that maybe I don't always advise people. Okay, you're doing a job you don't like. I don't advise you to stay there. But what if it is an entrepreneurship, your own business, and you're just there for money, and um, you don't know what you're doing. But when you begin to find meaning into what you're doing, I think you'll be able to find your value proposition, you'll be able to find your why, and it will fuel your passion. So when you change it from just, okay, I'm trying to get money, and like you said, when you think about how you can bring, help people, I think people are more reason for you to go into business than just money. And I think that is more stronger. Yeah. So
Yeah.
over to my next question. How do we incorporate this why into, our enterprises, especially in tech? Like, how do we incorporate it into our branding, especially in tech?
Okay, so I'm just going to speak first to the do you do what you love or love what you do part. So I'm going to say this for free, and I'm going to say realistically that if you're just starting out in business and you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of capital and all of that, please go for a job that can give you the money you need, right? That can give you the capital you need. And when you get that money, then you go back and do what you love, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so starting out as a tech person, I think that one of the best things that you can do is to start out intentionally. So you're building your brand up from the ground up, but you're doing that very intentionally. So you're building a brand. First off, what's your name, right? You have a solution you're creating. Obviously, you have a product, you have a service. So your name, is there a rationale or a reason behind it? Are you thinking about how easy it is for people to pronounce it? Because that would also help with retention. Can people remember you? If I forget your name easily, there's chances that I would forget your brand and not even buy or use it. So my brand colors as well. Is there an intentionality to which colors I'm picking for my brand, for my product, or am I just picking orange because that's my favorite color? So things like that, starting up like that, and just being very intentional about, okay, how will I want my brand to sound? That is your brand archetype. So do I sound like a rebel? Do I sound like a sage, I know it, or do I sound witty? So those kind of things will inform, because when branding is a process, right? A lot of people say, when they say, oh, I want to brand, it's usually they want to do a logo, but a logo is just a tiny element of branding. Branding is a consistent, ongoing thing that you do intentionally on a daily basis. It is being consistent with those things that you've chosen. So if I've chosen that my brand front would be Comic Sans, I would always use Comic Sans. So anytime you see Comic Sans, it is me that comes to mind. So those are the kind of
Yeah,
intentionality that we are talking about.
absolutely, absolutely. When it comes to branding, I always suggest will I say, every business, every tech brand should have what we call a brand guideline. And if you're giving someone a work to do for you, maybe you want to design, apart from just the initial design that you have a logo or a website, you want it to be on your social media designs. Let's hand over your brand guideline to your designer. So your designer will know the font. Your brand guideline will contain the fonts you're using, the colors you're using, the sizes you're using, how to put your
Yeah,
logos. One thing
yeah,
I have to always correct amongst graphic designers is the logo. When we say create logo, they just create one variation of logo. Logo has different variations, so you need to have the square size, the ones for different applications. It's still the same icon, same text, same font, but different sizes, different variations. So some people who just started logo
yeah,
design, they don't really know this. They're not being taught this. And I see sometimes even in social media designs, we have like people with fonts up to like 3 to 4 different fonts on a particular design, and you can't tell what is their language. You can't tell what they're into. What is their 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 why? So this is very important. Even the colors you use communicate something. When you visit a website as a digital marketing specialist, these are some of the things that I look at the details. So when I go into a website, every website has a feel. I mean, every good website has a feel. When you go there, it's calling you. The website is like it's like an online office. It's your office, but it's online. So people go in there. They need to have a
yeah,
feel. It needs to be welcoming. Well, when you go into a physical office, imagine you go into a physical office and you can't tell. I mean, everywhere is just rowdy. You can't tell what these guys are doing. You can't tell what they're about. That means they don't have a brand guideline. That means they don't know what they're doing. There's no why to their business. So in tech, it is very, very important. You want to go far in tech, you have a business, you need to have your why, you need to have your brand guideline. Very, very important. So yeah, uh, I mean, you have a case study you were gonna tell us about, right? Can you share on that?
yes. Okay, so the brand that I'm going to speak briefly on is Tesla. I'm sure almost everyone here has heard of Tesla, but I don't know if everyone is aware that Tesla has spent $0 on advertising. In fact, Elon Musk himself has come out to say that he hates advertising. I mean, can you imagine like a brand that is the highest worth car manufacturing company in the world? But Tesla has been able to build some sort of credibility and authority for themselves based solely on the personal brand of Elon Musk. And that's why the next thing that I'm going to touch on is why it is important for you as the founder, the co-founder, or the person who brought up the idea of this startup, who is building this business, to have a personal brand. So what does this entail? Share what you know, share your knowledge online. If there's an opportunity for you to speak somewhere, take it. If there's an opportunity for you to be featured in some on something, a magazine, online, whatever, take it, because it's helping you to build your authority. And you know what happens? There are three types of capital. There is social capital, there is human capital, and there's financial capital. And guess what? Social capital helps you, like it's the most important, because if I have resources of people, right, I can always, if I have like social capital, like people know
Yeah.
me, people trust my brand and all of that. If I call for something, people would listen, right? I can go to somewhere and then seek for something, and on my credibility, on my name, it would be easily given to me. So try to build your social capital as a starter, as a founder and all of that, because it would really help your brand. It would really like add that credibility to your brand, and you would not struggle doing a lot. You know how businesses are in phases, and you might need to expand, you might need to do this, you might need to relate with even government as well. So building that credibility for yourself as a founder, it's not easy work. It's easier said than done. Some people are just naturally introverted and all of that, and it may not really come off easy, but it is worth doing. It is worth being intentional about. And lastly, something I would like to add is that what's your digital footprint? And what do I mean by that? You know how you go online on Twitter and something happens, and then people go and start digging your tweets from 10 years ago, right? They come and go. So be intentional about what you put out online. So
Absolutely.
don't do things that people can use to haunt you tomorrow, that can they can use to tear down the things that you've built and you've worked so hard for. So yeah, be really intentional with that.
So wonderful. You said a lot, and one of the things I also wanted to um, highlight is, you mentioned Elon Musk and Tesla. Elon Musk, I think he is the brand. This is why he didn't need to do a lot of marketing, because
Yeah,
he is the brand, right? So
yeah,
imagine someone that is not, I mean, is not popularly known, he's just starting off there. There is need for marketing. But if you are, I mean, let's take for example this guy, Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson was a popular wrestler, and the moment he went into acting, everybody just knew him already, and then he became even one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. So it is the same thing with Elon Musk. But if you are not new, if you are new into the business, you are not a popular guy, no one knows you, it is important for you to do marketing, have a digital footprint. You be careful about your digital footprint, grow your brand, but grow yourself as well, because in the end, investors are going to come, and when someone is looking for a company to invest in, he's not looking for the idea to invest in. Good investors are not trying to invest into an idea, they're trying to invest in the person, because they want to know if that person is able to build, to use their money for good. So this is why it is important to also build yourself as an entrepreneur. So I'm just going to share with us a few things um, on the slide for us to see. I mean, in order for you to have a very good why or a value proposition, these are the four things you need to consider. So you need to consider who you are selling to, right? Your customer. You also need to consider what is the problem. Then you need to consider your solutions. What are you trying to, what are you having to, solve these problems? And then your differentiators. Why are you different from the other people that are out there? Because Why should I buy from you, right? So this is like just a guideline to help you form your own value proposition for your business. So when I started a business, yeah, there's this thing I remembered about. Um, it's called the problems of economics or the problems of production today. And it is the first one is what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and effective use of your product. So if you look at what to produce, you have what to produce and who are you producing these things. If you really want to sell, I mean, imagine you're just having a product, but then there is nobody to buy it to. So you need to know who you're buying, who you're selling to, and then how you are selling, and how are you going to use your product efficiently. So in this case, look at your customers, look at the problem, what solutions do you have, and what makes you different. And then I'm going to also look at, I want to show you how you can create your own value proposition using Uber's value proposition. I mean, now this is Uber style, right? Now, on the right side of the screen is the customer side, and then on the left side is the product or the enterprise. So now, Uber is a taxi service, is a cab service, we all know. I mean, so if we look at the right side, we have the job side, we have the pain, and we have the gains. Now, the jobs are what people, you need to do that cause these problems. So before Uber, people needed to wait for cabs or go to where they can find the cab or something. And then when they get the cab, they have to bargain about the costs. You see, this is the stress they all go through. They have to bargain about the costs, and then it's even hard to find a good cab. And then you have, you know, to pay for your trip. So these are the things that people need to do. Then, what are some of the pains that people experience with this old way of, of taxi? Payment is always a problem. We're in a digital society. You have people taxi service. I mean, I'm in Cyprus. There are taxis that still don't use the POS or bank transfer. I mean, so most of the times people need to stop at the ATM, make a withdrawal, then go to their destination, and it costs more. So this is payment. This is a payment issue. Then uh, people need to also book in advance. If they want to go somewhere early, they have to book in advance and then call a cab and all that. And sometimes you encounter bad drivers, and then there are low cab availabilities. So I mean, I'm coming from the customer point of view now. So what are some of the things that they will gain when they have, a good service like Uber? They will be able to track their cab using the application Uber, and they can make an order from, with a click. They can see the nearest cab available. Time has been saved. They pay easily. Your Uber is tied to your bank account or your card, and then at every trip you have your payment, and then you can trust your driver. I'll tell you from the left side, you'll see how you can trust your driver. So, what are these gain creators? You can trust your driver because at every trip, you're going to have a driver rating. You're going to rate your driver. So, the driver with the highest rating shows that he's being trusted, and more people are likely to call this driver, this cab, than others that are not, um, rated high. So, this is value. And then you can manage all your trips. You can see all your trips where you've gone through before and everything right there from your map. You can navigate your map. You can know where you're going to. You can know the distance. You can know the cost, so you can calculate instead of you going and start bargaining in the in the cab with the driver. So there is no bargaining. You don't usually bargain the with the cab with the cab driver with the Uber driver. And then easy payments is there from your card, you pay easily. So you see, this has been able to solve. So this is value. And then they have their product side. You can have your product, your services, Black Cap, UberX, Passenger App, Uber Pop. They have this over there. And the pain relievers are easy payment, driver ratings, 24/7 availability. You can get a cab and Uber driver in the middle of the night, and then you can know where you're going. You can know where you're going and the time it will take you to get there. So in building your value proposition, this is what you need to do. Look at it. When you create this thing, you create the customer side you create your side as an enterprise, but look at it from the customer point of view. If you look at it from your point of view, you will miss a few things. But when you look at it from the customer point of view, you will not miss a few things. Now, this is a very strong value proposition. They are offering a real value, and people, that's why they were able to sell and get big in a very short time. So, yes, it is very important for us to have a why to our enterprise, to our business. And for our listeners, if there is anyone who have a question, you can type it in the box. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Dorcas, do you have any few words for us before we go?
Okay, so I think I'm just going to reiterate again why you as a person, why everything starts with you as a person, why you must have what will keep you going for longer is to have something stronger than just the need for money. So let's say I started a business because I needed money, right? When I get the money, what's my motivation to keep going on? When customers get rude to me, what's my motivation to keep going on, right? But if my motivation to go on is that okay, I'm starting this smoothie business because I was once obese and I found it hard to lose weight. Now I have a solution and I'm not going to stop until I get it to everyone who needs it. That's a stronger why than money. And of course, you make money on the way. No one is saying that you should like go broke and become
Yeah,
a Father Christmas. Of course, you get money on the way, but yeah, your why should be the first thing, and then focus on being intentional with the brand you're building. So am I just telling my friend or someone to okay, just do a logo for me, anything you think, anything you like? No, is there an intentionality? Why am I putting a leaf sign there? Why am I putting a teardrop or a water drops there? I should be able to say why. I should be able to have a reason. To my name, is my name an acronym of something? Did I put two words together? Can someone ask me this and I say, oh, I my brand name is Quidro because so and so I got an inspiration from here, or in the Igbo word Kudro means peace. That's what my so there must be a rationale behind everything you do. Every single dot or I or crossing that you do should have a meaning. You should be able to explain it to someone else. And lastly, build your personal brand. So you as a person, share the knowledge that you know. Be intentional. If you have a blurry photo on Instagram or on LinkedIn, like please just go right now and change it after this conversation. Like have a good photo up there, have a good description. People should know you, see what you do, pitch yourself out for opportunities, and then yeah, you're making the job easier for yourself, for your company, and for what you're building actually. So yeah.
great. Thank you. Thank you so much. So you said be intentional about your brand. You also mentioned have a motivation other than money, and then build yourself as a brand. Did I miss anything? So someone has a question. He says, which goes first? Michael is asking, which goes
Okay.
first? Why or your who, as in your market?
Okay, so what goes first, why or your market? So there's this thing where I don't know if you've heard of this thing where the Ford Motor Company said that there's this analogy. Of course, we know the popular analogy that oh, the customer comes first, the customer comes first. But Ford Motor Companies proved us wrong. They said, we are going to create a product for you and we are going to make you like that product. And yes, it's very much possible. That's what marketing and advertising does. But to answer this question, what goes first? I think your why goes first. Your why goes first because that's the motivation. Sometimes the things that you believe in, the things that you do would be like the magnet that draw other people towards you, right? Towards you would be like the magnet. So I can start with marketing. I can market anything, right? I can start with marketing to gather people in. But if people don't get value from what I'm doing, right? They probably leave along the way, and they would not stick on. So yes, I'd probably start with why myself. Why am I doing this? Because I know that if this thing was something that I had a problem with, there are several thousands, if not million people like me that are facing this thing somewhere in the world and needs this solution. So yes, I'll start with why.
Wow, amazing. And I also think, just like you said, Ford, you can actually have your why and make people follow your why. I mean, we can make people follow your product, not just about going for the customer first. Customer is not always first. I don't believe customers are always first. Thank you so much, Mikey, for that question.
Yeah.
And thank you, Dorcas. Anyone else has a question before we close? Okay, so in the absence of none, I would like to say thank you everybody for joining, and thank you so much, Dorcas, for sharing with us today. It was so insightful having you, and we would love to have you again sometime soon. So thank you, and this will be recorded, so we're gonna have the clips available soon as well. Thank you, and bye bye. All
All
right, I
right.
think
Thank you, everyone.
someone has a question. Someone has a question.
Oh, okay.
Before we go, okay, it's a comment actually. So Adidolapo says, I mean, she was on our previous talk. She said, as a founder, in order to build credibility, you need to build a personal brand, be intentional about building social impact. This is one important reason for. This is also another important why. It's not just about making money, just we said. When you think about making a difference in the area of, in the in the community. Especially, we have things like social entrepreneurship. If you actually have a social impact in mind, you will actually go far, and also ensure you have a good digital footprint. Yeah, this is what you mentioned. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes, and it's good having you all here. So, looking forward to having you guys again join our next session. Thank you, and thank you, Dorcas. Bye bye.
My pleasure.